A powerful display at Calgary's Field of Crosses for the Night of Lights. More than 3,700 crosses are illuminated along Memorial Drive, commemorating a soldier from southern Alberta that died in service to their country. The lanterns will burn until sunrise on Remembrance Day tomorrow. After decades, Canada is no longer considered measles-free.
There's no reason for us to have widespread large measles outbreaks like we've had.
Alberta's role in the country's failing grade and how it might impact Canadians traveling abroad. Plus, a brand new budget for a brand new council.
There's a lot of ways that we can make the existing resources go further.
Talks turn to taxes at City Hall. And a need for speed and STEM.
The entire competition is designed to build kids' resumes to be in F1. It's to work in F1. It's to succeed in F1.
Some top students from Calgary race for recognition at a global competition.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Terry Fikowski.
Good evening. Canada has been stripped of its measles-free status by a branch of the World Health Organization. Alberta has seen nearly 2,000 cases since outbreaks began in March. Now, it could take years to get that designation back, and it's something that could impact all Canadians in the meantime. Here's Jacqueline Wilson.
Canada has held a measles-free designation since 1998, but now, because of declining vaccination rates and sporadic outbreaks since October of last year, Canada has lost the status.
Very disappointing. I mean, we are a global leader in medicine and health and science and public health. And this certainly bruises our reputation.
In Canada, there's been more than 5,000 cases in 9 provinces and 1 territory, with almost 2,000 of those cases in Alberta. The Alberta Medical Association saying this is the result of persistent misinformation and disinformation, leading to vaccine hesitancy and low immunization rates. The province says since March, more than 137,000 vaccines have been administered, a 50% increase year over year. It's something Michelle Sear wishes she'd done earlier. Her daughter was hospitalized last month in Ontario.
Make sure you do your vaccinations. That's my biggest concern, because if I was a little late with hers, and I think that if I would have got it on time, then maybe she wouldn't have got it.
Some in the travel industry say it's possible Canadians who travel might be asked for proof of vaccination.
There are many countries in the world where it's mandatory to get a measles, mumps and rubella vaccination. Many countries in Europe, for example, France, Hungary, Spain. So, it's interesting with Canada having lost its status. How are those countries going to view Canadian travellers?
We see that now with yellow fever vaccinations. Different countries, they will look at your passport or they will ask you what countries you've visited prior to coming to that destination. And if they feel it's a risk, they may say, no, you can't come, or they may ask you for proof of vaccination.
Returning Canada to its measles-free designation will take a change in how many Canadians are feeling about vaccinations.
Once the outbreak's declared over, then we will have to work for 12 months to sustain that lack of transmission. And at the end of that 12 months, we have to prove to the Pan American Health Organization that we have no transmission.
Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
There are currently 2 active cases of measles in the province, both in the North Health region. 2 patients are in hospital. The measles vaccine is free and can be booked by calling 811. Meantime, there are emerging signs this flu season may see faster spread and more serious illness. A woman in her 60s from central Alberta has already died from influenza this season. 8 people have required intensive care treatment. Health officials say the data shows a nasty virus circulating in the UK and Australia, which is a warning of what's to come for North America. They point out the dominant strain of influenza is potentially mismatched with this year's vaccine formula. Infectious disease experts say it's still important to get vaccinated as soon as possible.
So if you want to protect yourself, this is still a very safe, very effective way to do it. Might not be quite as safe as if the match was perfect, but considerably better than getting the influenza virus itself.
The flu shot is available at pharmacies for those aged 5 years and older at no cost. Calgary's new council is just weeks into the job, and they are jumping right into budget talks. The mayor says he wants to cut the proposed property tax hike in half. Now they'll need to figure out just how to do that. Jordan Canagan reports.
In their first regular meeting of council in the 4-year term, talks turned to taxes.
I'm going to be going into this budget process with an aim for at least a half reduction for the tax increase that was voted upon by the previous council.
How the new mayor plans to do that is yet to be seen. What's proposed right now is nearly $300 million in new spending. On the table is a proposed 5.4% jump for residential properties and a 1.3% increase on the non-residential side.
It comes down to that we cannot have another 8.9% increase in property tax like we did last year, and I recognize a portion of that is due to the province, but ultimately we have to take care of ours.
Some councillors think cutting the proposed tax hike in half is a tough task. They'll have 2 weeks to consider it.
So as it currently stands, there's nothing really within the budget that would result in a 50% cut, in my opinion.
While others say they need to find that savings, from considering efficiencies to cutting the climate mitigation work.
A lot of promises made by a lot of these councillors that were hired was the climate fund, right? I believe that's honestly a waste of money in my opinion right now. I think we can eliminate a big portion of that, if not all of it.
And we also think a lot about coordinating construction works. The idea to dig once so that there's collaboration between, say, the water utility, NMAX, ATCO, roads. There's a lot of ways that we can make the existing resources go further.
Jordan Canigan, CTV News, Calgary.
Ottawa's budget roadshow rolled into Calgary Monday as talks to end Alberta's long-running energy disputes with Ottawa appear close to a deal. Kevin Green has those details.
The federal finance minister brought his sales pitch for Ottawa's new budget to Calgary, highlighting what the feds call a plan for a stronger, cleaner economy.
The fact that the prime minister changed the tone to talk about an energy superpower in both clean and conventional energy, I think has really changed how people perceive these things. I think even people I would see at the grocery store, they understand today the nexus between economic security, energy security, and national security.
Champagne told Calgary business leaders the government is working closely with the province to finalize deals on energy and emissions.
How do we deal with the regulatory uncertainty? Because it's one thing to say that we're looking at ways to increase investment, but we really need to deal with the regulatory challenges. And so that's the other piece, and that's the risk management piece that I actually asked the minister about. But the energy sector, I think, is encouraged.
Champagne's message comes as talks between Ottawa and Alberta over oil and gas caps, pipelines, and tanker policy edge towards a possible deal. Last week, Danielle Smith was all smiles meeting Carney, and on her weekend radio show, she hinted a deal is imminent.
We've been going back and forth now daily on a memorandum of understanding, and I hope that we're able to iron out some of the differences that we have in time for Grey Cup or shortly after.
But Monday in Fredericton, the Prime Minister said it will likely be sooner than that.
They're built with Indigenous partners. They're consistent with their climate goals, and they have a real economic return. And so you would expect to see some of those in the announcement later this week.
A spokesperson for Enbridge says the federal changes have the company optimistic but cautious, saying in a statement to CTV, what we can't lose sight of, however, is that in order for large energy projects to move forward, the federal government must make various policy changes. This includes simplifying regulations, shortening timelines for project approvals, committing to actions that help unlock production growth, and enhancing Indigenous engagement. Champagne hopes to walk out of Calgary with the endorsement of the city's business community because before any of the Liberals' major project plans can become reality, they must first get that budget passed, despite having minority in Parliament. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
The Prime Minister will be announcing the next set of federally funded infrastructure projects Thursday in Prince Rupert. That city sits near the terminal end of a proposed pipeline that could export liquefied natural gas to markets overseas. Turning now to other news, Calgary police are investigating after a pedestrian was struck by an SUV earlier tonight. It happened around 6:30 at 16th Avenue and 2nd Street Northwest. The pedestrian was rushed to hospital. No word on their condition. The driver remained on scene. Police were on scene for several hours investigating. A shed fire reignited this morning, and the wind may have been to blame. Yesterday afternoon, plumes of thick black smoke could be seen coming from Meredith Road in the northeast. A shed was significantly damaged, but it's now been destroyed after catching fire again this morning. The fire department says strong winds may have fanned some embers. Officials say the original fire is not considered suspicious, but it's still not clear what caused it. And strong winds helped fuel a grass fire east of Lethbridge this morning. Flames moved quickly in a ditch along Highway 3 near Broxburn. Fire advisories are in effect in that region because of the high risk. And the strong winds also knocked out power to parts of the south side of Lethbridge earlier today. A falling tree cut power to more than 2,200 customers near the hospital. The city was able to restore that power shortly before 10. Danielle joins us now. And Danielle, still pretty windy out there.
Yeah, it's calmed down quite a bit, but it will still be fairly gusty right up until about midnight, 1 a.m. Then the winds return again tomorrow, but they won't be this bad. So 122 kilometers per hour was the maximum wind gust in Pincher Creek, almost 90 in Lethbridge, and around that 70 mark for Calgary and Medicine Hat. Okay, let's check out tomorrow. If you are heading out to any Remembrance Day ceremonies, you may have to contend with a little bit of wind. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, you're looking at 4 degrees, winds fairly calm at 10 kilometers per hour. By 10 o'clock in the morning, it starts to pick up to 30, maybe even 40 kilometers per hour. And then in the afternoon, up to 50 kilometers per hour. That wind, though, out of the west will get us back into the double digits tomorrow with a high of 12 expected. Your full forecast is just ahead.
Thanks, Danielle. Former NHLer and Calgary's own Bob Wilkie is raising awareness around mental health with a documentary that explores one of Canada's greatest sports tragedies.
The team turned into a tragedy this afternoon when the team bus slid off an icy road near Swift Current, Saskatchewan. 4 of the young hockey players were killed.
Sideways explores the Swift Current Broncos' horrific bus crash in 1986. 2 years later, the team went on to win the Memorial Cup under disgraced coach Graham James. The documentary explores trauma, healing, and resilience through stories from several former members of the team, coaching staff, family, and friends. That includes Wilkie, who lived through the crash. He now works with young athletes as a founder of the nonprofit I Got Mine to help others deal with issues caused by trauma.
It's some of the worst things imaginable, especially for a group of young hockey players, that it's just not a typical kind of thing that happens. So, yeah, it gets people's attention when they really see the full scale. And I think it shows, again, the importance of being able to talk it out, because had we been able to talk about those things at that time, how much better could we have been then?
A private screening of Sideways took place tonight with some Flames alumni. The documentary will be shown to the public at Mount Royal University's Bell Concert Hall on November 24th. Well, despite a pledge from premiers, liquor is still not flowing freely between provinces. What's the holdup to cut red tape on interprovincial trade and the impacts it's having on Alberta producers?
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
When the elbows came up in the spring, many businesses hope Canadians were banding together to help them. However, small and craft alcohol producers aren't feeling those benefits due to interprovincial trade barriers. That's according to a report by the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. Tyler Barrow has the story.
Every day, Toolshed Brewing produces approximately 10,000 cans of beer. Less than 10% end up on liquor store shelves outside Alberta.
Every other province has some real solid gatekeepers stopping beers from outside the province getting in without a lot of work.
Sherman has been able to get his products to shelves in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and BC, but it has not been easy.
Working on trying to get our beer into Ontario, but it requires a lot of lab testing, and you know, it's incredible to see what actually goes into getting it across that goal line.
Here at Bridgeland Distillery, only recently was it able to get into Saskatchewan, thanks largely to the trade war between Canada and the United States.
Simpler to look at markets like Japan and the UK than looking at Ontario and BC.
A recent report by the Canadian Federation of Independent Business highlights the major roadblocks Canada's small and craft alcohol producers face despite recent agreements made to ease trade restrictions. It points to outdated rules and complicated processes.
Fixing these issues should be a priority for Canadian governments, especially in light of the U.S. trade tensions.
The CFIB is calling on provinces to add alcohol to the Mutual Recognition Agreement on goods, allowing it to flow more freely across the country. The group also says all provinces and territories need to do more. The Ministry of Service Alberta and Red Tape claims it's doing its part, saying, "We continue to lead the nation in knocking down trade barriers for the liquor industry, providing all liquor manufacturers, regardless of their province or country, with the opportunity to sell their products in Alberta." Producers here in Calgary say change can't come soon enough.
And I just don't want the premiers to stop talking about lowering the interprovincial barriers, whether it's beer or anything else.
The new reality is there's lots of competition out there with tariff, non-tariff, and so on. We need to make more room for Canadian content.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Alberta's cultural and historic sites saw a boom this summer with more than 600,000 visitors. The province says visits rose 7% compared to the previous year, due partly because more Canadians were taking vacations in Canada due to tensions with the U.S. The province also offered free admission to children and discounts to youth following the federal government's Canada Strong Pass initiative. Tim Hortons is offering free coffee to veterans and armed forces members to mark Remembrance Day. The company says Canadian veterans and active duty military members who present a valid government-issued veteran service card or military service ID card can receive a free hot beverage of their choice tomorrow. The promotion applies to all locations across the country. Tim Hortons' president says it's a gesture of appreciation for their service and sacrifice. And CTV Calgary will bring you the Remembrance Day service from the Hangar Flight Museum tomorrow. You can watch it on TV and online beginning at 10:30 a.m. We won't have to bundle up nearly as much as other parts of the country for Remembrance Day ceremonies tomorrow, with being hit with some record-breaking snowfall in central Canada. Danielle has some of those details after the break.
All right, the story today, windy, absolutely. Look at this wind gust. The maximum wind gust in Pincher Creek today, 122 kilometers per hour. And there were about 3 hours the day where gusts were over 100 between 11 a.m. and 1 in the afternoon. We got up to almost 90 in Lethbridge, over 70 in Medicine Hat, and 70 in Calgary. A little tamer, Brooks, Drumheller, around that 50 mark. It will be calmer tomorrow, but it will still be windy tomorrow, just not this windy. So Pincher Creek, you're looking at maximum gusts around 70 kilometers per hour tomorrow. Lethbridge over to Medicine Hat, 60 kilometers per hour, and for Calgary up to 50 in the afternoon hours. So when we look at temperatures, this is why temperatures are so warm. That was a strong wind out of the west that boosted us up to 15 degrees today in the city, 12 in Edmonton, and double digits Regina and Saskatoon. Out east, it was much colder, and they were dealing with some record snowfalls in some areas. Toronto got over 10 centimeters, Ottawa over 12, which is a lot, especially this early in the season, which is why they broke some records, 2-day records. Okay, we're not breaking any records for snowfall. We don't have any warnings in place at the moment. And this system, which was responsible for that westerly flow in the winds today, should mainly stay stateside. And we're clearing out for tomorrow. So it should be a bright day tomorrow with lots of sunshine. I'm going to just play this through hour by hour. And as you can see, not a whole lot to talk about for tomorrow, other than we are looking at some windy conditions in the afternoon. So when we look at 10 o'clock in the morning, we should have the winds just starting to pick up, 30, maybe even 40 kilometers per hour. So if you're heading out to any Remembrance Day ceremonies, it will be warm, it will be bright, but a little on the windy side likely by 11 and 12. We're looking at a high of 12 in the afternoon, and there's a bit of a roller coaster ride for temperatures this work week, because then we're down to 6 for Wednesday, back up to the teens for Thursday. By that point, the winds will start to really kick in again. That will be more of that Chinook setup that will get our temperatures so warm. And then down to 6 on Friday with a decent chance of getting some raindrops and maybe even late in the day some snowflakes as well.
Okay, thanks for this, Danielle. Next year's Country Thunder is moving from mid-August to late June. The new dates for the festival are June 26th to 28th at Confluence Park. 2026 will be the 10th year for the event here in Calgary, and organizers say the new date will deliver the perfect kickoff to summer. Now, people who have already bought tickets will be able to use them for the new date or get a full refund by November 24th. First acts will be announced in early December. For the first time in 23 years, two of the Guess Who's founding members are reuniting for a Canadian tour. Randy Bachman and Burton Cummings are bringing their Taking It Back tour to the Saddle Dome June 8th. Tickets go on sale this Friday. And now you'll have that in your head for the rest of the night, I'm sure. Calgary students are putting the pedal to the metal. Meet the group who built a race car to represent Canada at the STEM Racing World Finals when we come back. It was the Battle of the Bots down at Telespark today. It's all part of the Science Center's Future Engineers Day in partnership with Amazon Canada. The annual event encourages children to explore tech and science. Families took part in robot battles, live demonstrations, coding workshops, and more. Formula One racing teams like McLaren, Ferrari, and Mercedes employ thousands of engineers and mechanics. Many get their start in high school through the STEM racing program. This year, physics students at Strathcona Tweesmere School entered a car into the global competition. Kevin Fleming reports.
She's a Formula One fan, and when Sophia Doherty learned about the new STEM racing program at her school, she jumped at the opportunity.
It really intrigued me, the name, and I was like, okay, I'll just do it. It's extra credits. I think I'm going to learn a lot. Like, might be a tough experience, but I'll give it a try, and I'm very glad I did.
Doherty is one of 6 students who spent 14 months creating a racing team to compete against other schools across Canada.
You can't just give them everything. They have to find things on their own. They have to design it the way they see that addresses those specifications. So there are some regulations that don't allow the teacher to just be doing it for them. Like, you wouldn't necessarily know, but we would know.
Manny Aurora was the team's project manager and says the students all had different roles and took their job seriously. That commitment helped them earn the right to compete in the World event in Singapore.
It's a very professional program. They're looking for kids that will be their next engineers in Formula One. They're looking for kids who will be the next marketing advisors for Formula One. It is the entire competition is designed to build kids' resumes to be in F1. It's to work in F1. It's to succeed in F1.
83 teams from 34 countries competed in the largest ever STEM Racing World Finals. The scaled-down cars are powered by compressed air and are extremely fast. But Weston Fremont says they're always looking for ways to beat their last time.
How can we improve aerodynamics? How can we reduce weight? And we were lucky enough to have access to a CFD sort of wind tunnel simulation software, which let us test the car or the theoretical wind resistance on the car, so we could figure out how we could increase the aerodynamics as much as possible.
Doherty's favorite F1 team is McLaren, and she and the others got to tour the paddock before the Singapore Grand Prix, where many hope to work one day. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, south of Calgary.
That's so impressive, especially when I think of what I was doing back in high school. Nothing that impressive. But thank you all so much for watching. Again, please join our coverage tomorrow morning for the Remembrance Day ceremony at the Hangar Flight Museum. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.